Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. Welcome everybody to Astral Drive. Of course, my camera just decided to fall off my computer screen. Astral Drive, episode 11. Very excited we're back with our fun single mod space opera, fantasy, sci-fi, whatever. Well, before we get into the game, we've got to introduce the players, the wonderful players that make this possible. Above my head, you're going to see Aether Dios. He is playing Gerald Abrego.
Hola.
In the middle, our Build Master General, Philbilly330, is rocking Nellis Stonehand.
I'm awake.
And finally, last but not least, is our unofficial TTRPG partner, Wizard's Respite, otherwise known as Ash, with Alfred Whitecastle.
Hi, everybody.
So, to recap, before we get into it, you guys had headed down to Axiom. You had landed in the snowstorm in the mountains of the north on your way to take out the basically terrorist space Vikings that had attacked the ship in the first place, because they are somehow potentially keeping a hub within their main city and using it to spawn Zix that are controlled by Guldraxxin, the leader of the Dead Seas. Also, there's this whole intrigue about the Double E, the Echelon of the End, who are some sort of conspiracy. No one really knows what their goals are, but they were the ones that they were responsible for the cooks that tried to kidnap Gerald Abrego, and they want him, and we don't know exactly why. Possibly because the ship that they're all on, for it to fly, Gerald must be aborted. Period. They then trudged through the snow with the whole crew intact. And then Gerald did some fancy negotiating that was not entertaining to everybody. Phil was very tired. It had nothing to do with it. But Gerald secured them clothes and other such things to help them disguise themselves so that they could get into the Dead Seas. This was at the Steppes, which is another tribe, village type thing in the Northlands. They are at the base of the Dead Seas Mountain. The Dead Seas' entire city is located in a hollowed out mountain. But they allow the Steppes to occupy the space below them, even though the Steppes are peaceful, because the Steppes bring in money, they bring in goods, they bring in information. So the Steppes are unhindered and also completely peaceful, which allowed the group to negotiate with them. So that's where we were, right? Did I miss anything? Oh, and Gerald got sick and puked behind a tree. Happens to the best of us, man. Sometimes you get a cold, you know.
We don't know why, correct?
You guys don't even know he puked.
But I'm saying he doesn't even know why, right?
He doesn't know why. No, all we know was that Gerald was not feeling well. Gerald took a moment. Gerald went behind a tree. Gerald vomited, and now he's doing okay. After a out of game series of absolutely immaculate fucking endurance checks, where he spent, if I recall correctly, like all of his momentum to do it.
It was a lot of momentum, too.
Like, no bonus experience points for him. He had to spend it all. So that's where we were at, right? I think.
That sounds
all right.
About right.
Okay, so you guys dress up in the barbarian garb. You know, you have to down yourselves in some furs, some leather, kind of heavy Viking materials. You have to shed your Hearth Collective uniforms, so to speak. You no longer look like the space monkeys ready to get shot into space. You look like space Vikings. That's basically what you look like, which is the idea.
Can I keep my cowboy hat?
What?
Can I keep my cowboy hat?
Welker says no. Hide it.
Damn it.
Welker actually kind of has a speech After you guys are all dressed, he's like, all right, now you're all going to have to listen to me. Once we go up there, we are going to be in enemy territory. They are trained to see outsiders, and they're trained to bring them down. Not only are they trained, but Volker has sniffers up there, which are incredibly, incredibly deadly to anybody not coming in on the level. And I want to make something else very clear to you. I know you guys are outsiders, and I know that you're expecting to walk into some sort of despot's dictatorship sort of area. It's not that. He is incredibly good to his people. The civilians in the Dead Seas love him probably more than his warriors do. It is a serious men want to be him, women want to be with him sort of situation. So nobody is your friend there. Nobody. Women, children, none. He is widely still maintain momentum from last game, guys, because I didn't give any experience points out. He is widely respected as the greatest leader of the Dead Seas ever. So just keep that in mind when you're in there. And he also says, if someone speaks to you, the cowboy accent and the uptight prissy accent aren't going to work. So you just grunt. Grunt loud enough for me or Rex to hear you and bail you out.
Got it. Will Pickles help us get in there a little easier, you think?
Welker is still the one who's against you bringing Pickles in the first place. He just looks at him and he's like, that's Volker's. So, as far as I'm concerned, that thing's a liability. I will say this, nobody's going to bat an eye at you having it with you. Not in the Dead Seas. On the sniffers, Alfred Whitecastle, give me a knowledge check. Knowledge intelligence. And as per se usual, guys, my messenger is up, so I will be able to see any private messages to me should you need to make them, and please maintain checking them every so often.
Right. As a 13.
Alright, as a 13, I forgot to give you that's enough. Sniffers are like a kind of like giant bug sort of thing from the archipelago where you are from. I mean, everybody remember Volker's a gargoyle. He's also from the archipelago. But sniffers are kind of they're an incredibly empathetic creature, which is why a lot of people have them as pets. But in the wild, they're very dangerous because they can kind of detect emotions, like extreme emotions, like fear, and it allows them to track their prey in hordes. So if he's trained sniffers, he's using them to look for fear. He's using them to look for people who are extremely nervous. Like, everybody's happy in the Dead Seas, so the sniffers are looking for irregularities.
I am concerned about certain members of our party and the sniffers.
I think he's worried about Abrego.
Well, Welker looks. He looks over and he goes, listen, it's this simple. Anybody who's going to be extremely emotional or extremely fearful, anything like that, needs to stay on the ship. It's that simple. No matter what this mission requires, if any of us are blown by the sniffers, we're all blown by the sniffers. and none of us come out of here alive. And I don't know about you, and I don't know how the Hearth Collective do it, but my intentions are to come out of here alive.
Whose intentions wouldn't be to come out here alive? Hearth Collective or not?
Rex kind of grumbles and goes, I don't know, we hear you're all sort of martyrs over there.
I turned to Ash, or to White Castle. Yeah. And I kind of lean in and I say, what if Abrego was our prisoner?
Risk. If they remove him from our custody.
They would take him, you would think, to Volker or to what the heck's the name? That the leader drawer or whatever rags on.
Gull Draxon.
Call Drags. Which is who we're looking to find anyways. It's not... He'd be too valuable for them to just kill on the spot, you know? I don't even want him to hear that I'm throwing this out there, because it's pretty fucked up. But just a thought, it would explain the fear that you are slightly concerned of.
Are you trying to keep this from Gerald?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are all kind of standing around. I'm going to need a stealth check to have him not hear.
Okay.
Like, it's not like you guys are in different areas. You're just kind of all standing off to the side of a snowy road.
Yeah, and I'm basically just trying to be quiet and is there...
I'm gonna, what's your awareness, Gerald?
2.
2? Okay, I'm gonna say this is he's pukey. I'm gonna say it's not super difficult, so we're gonna say a 10, but plus his awareness, that'll be a 12.
That's fair.
You said stealth, right?
Yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13. I got it. Barely, but I got it.
Okay, alright, conversation proceeds. Gerald does not hear anything.
I'll be trouble.
He is still worried about his belly. Gerald, while they're talking, I do really quickly want you to give me one more endurance conditioning roll. This is a difficulty of 10.
No, you got me this time.
Oh, did I?
You did.
Okay, don't worry.
That's an 8.
I'm not gonna take back. Like, you worked hard to survive those things. I'm not gonna take it back.
Nope.
I will say though,
is it contested?
it is not contested.
That's a 10.
It's a 10
That's
on the
still a
dot.
fail.
It's a fail.
And on the dot.
It's
Still-
it's a barely a fail, but it's a fail. Okay. So we're gonna say that you are feeling like, so basically you vomited all your food out. So, and you're still feeling ill from vomiting. We've all vomited. We know that is not a pleasant thing. It kind of ruins your day. So basically what this means is you're gonna have just a -1 to all single mods going forward until this clears up for you. It's not
that's
super
fair.
bad. Just a -1. Just you're a little woozy. You're a little ugh. So it won't affect your soak or anything. Just anytime you're rolling anything and you're putting your single mod together, just figure it is 1 less. How many things do you guys think he's gonna miss by 1 now?
Oh.
But to White Castle, I'm like, I mean, it's a bad plan, but it's the only thing I could think of. Unless you think it's better to leave him out of it, you are the head honcho on this here mission, so it's your call. But just a thought.
I don't like leaving him on the ship.
Who are you? quick question. Are you two just having this conversation between the two of you? Which you passed your stealth, I'll let you make that decision.
I'm basically just whispering in his ear.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to know if any of the NPCs could hear you so that they could weigh in on that. Okay, continue. I won't interrupt again. I apologize.
Yeah, I'd sort of lean back and turn to him and say, I don't think we can do this without him being informed of at least some of it. We can't just sneak him in there and then let him be thrown to the wolves.
Oh, no, I didn't mean... I ain't trying to be cruel. I didn't want to hear him to hear me suggest this to you and you turn it down and then I look like a real prick.
I don't like him being on the ship for a lot of reasons.
I don't either. Unless we want to leave him here in this little village here where he seems to be well liked.
That's a better option. I like him where we can keep him. I think we should at least bring this to the our guides. They've been inside the city. They'll know if this is a ploy that it would be doomed to fail or not.
Yeah. Well, I think you as the leader should bring it up.
Agreed. Then I'll get the NPC's attention and...
Which one, Welker or Rex?
Welker.
Okay.
But I'm not keeping it a secret at this point. Like, if anybody's around, I could hear.
Okay.
It's fine. And I say to him, I'm not liking the prospect of Abrego being on the ship.
So
That
you
puts
say
us in
that loud
very-
enough for Abrego to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If anybody catches him on there, our mission is severely compromised. I don't know how we'd ever get off this planet, and we'd be lost in enemy territory. And we know he is a target of somebody. What if we posed him as a prisoner as we took him in there? Which would be the reason why he's scared. Get him past the sniffers.
Well, Welker kind of leans in and goes, "Wait a second. Why are we concerned about Abrego?" Like he hasn't spent any time with Abrego, so he doesn't understand exactly exactly what the problem is.
Everybody knows that Abrego has to be on the ship, right, in order for it to fly.
Yeah, but he's like, why you're worried about taking him up?
Okay. If he's found on the ship, they'll have access to the ship.
No. I understand that. I mean, do you think he's going to be a problem inside the Dead Seas?
He seems quite worrisome.
You think he's going to attract the sniffers?
Yes.
I am feeling a little bit better, Captain, but only a little bit.
Sit down. You'll be fine.
He looks at him and goes, "Don't sit. We're in 2 inches of snow. Just stand against the tree."
Very cold.
He looks back at you and he goes, "Listen. If you want my honest opinion, if he can be found out by the sniffers, we shouldn't take him into the Dead Seas. It's that plain and simple. If you want to have a way to take him in there, that's fine. Otherwise, I understand why you don't want him on the ship. And I understand why you don't want to lower your manpower to protect him down here. So if you want to try the prison thing, I'm okay with that. We can make that work. But I strongly advise against taking anybody who could set those sniffers off." And he's going to roll a stealth check. What's your awareness, Phil?
My awareness is 1.
1. Okay. So I'm going to give him the same difficulty. Okay. Just barely. Actually, no. He just barely failed. Okay, alright. Okay, so he actually kind of pulls you in. And Phil, I'm going to say something to you in just a sec. But first, I'm going to say what I say to Alfred. He goes, your friend, Nullus, is he going to be a problem? You do hear your name. That's all you hear is your name.
I'll maintain composure.
Okay?
With the sniffers, I've seen the man fight in a bad situation.
Look,
I
there
never
is...
saw him flinch.
There's 1,000 people in there, all with axes. We're not going to fight our way out of that. And sniffers don't just look for anxiety. They don't just look for fear. They look for anger. Your buddy has seemed pretty pissed since he got on the ship. And I don't know what that's about, and I'm not about to get into it. But is he going to set him off?
No. I'll talk to him. He'll be fine.
He looks at you dead in the eyes. He's like, I'll do the prisoner thing. It's no problem. But like I said, once we're in there, there is no fighting our way out.
I understand.
All right.
Well, what's this about a prisoner?
All right. He lets you go to talk to them. So let's let you guys explain all of that. Phil, like I said, all you heard was your name.
Yeah,
You pulled him in.
I figure I'll ask Alfred
He
about
got
it.
a dead on 10. So like it was just like barely a fail. So
So I'm gonna sort of wave Nellis over, and once he gets close to me, lean in and say, "The plan is on." I'm gonna try and say this quietly, but now we need to convince Abrego.
All right. May I ask why my name was brought up in your conversation?
Sniffers, they hunt down any emotion. They can pick it up. And you've been a little unsettled recently.
Yeah, I understand that. I can maintain my composure, though. I mean, I should be all right on that. I hope.
Stay focused when we're in there on the mission.
Of course.
All right. Now let's see if we can't talk.
Break the news gently.
I might let you lead on this one. Being tactful and gentle is not always a quality of mine, of my personality.
Yeah, you are correct. I am the warm, fuzzy one.
you actually hear Pickles do like a like his weird Velociraptor laugh.
Sounds good.
Maybe we'll get Pickles to do it.
Kelly is actually checking on you, Gerald. She's just like, you are not looking so good.
The village said it could be the elevation. We don't really go up mountains back home.
Did I hear Kelly say that to him, Zach?
Oh yeah, you're walking over.
I'm like, prisoners never look real good, do they?
What
Kelly-
about
Kelly's like, excuse me? I don't believe anybody here is a prisoner.
Well, no,
We're
miss.
crafting a facade.
Yeah, not actually a prisoner. Here's the scoop, Abrego.
Oh, that would be. I think that might not be very nice to Mr. Stonetooth to do that again.
No. That's correct. That's why there's going to have to be.
Mr. Stonetooth chuckles and goes, maybe he'll punch the
I
just
think
hear a glare at Stone Tooth for a second.
I think you're correct, Abrego. That's why we may need a new prisoner, and I want to give you the scoop, and I hope that you do not take offense. But as Kelly has pointed out, you are looking a little worse for wears lately, and
I was
as
thinking I maybe should stay here.
see, that's the thing. We're a little concerned about you staying here with your severe importance when it comes to the ship.
Maybe, Doctor, is there something you could give me for this, nausea?
She's like, I can give you something, but if you're really not feeling good, I don't know if it's a good idea to go to even higher heights. The oxygen's only going to get thinner.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Uh,
sorry, I'm
sh-
getting distracted.
She looks at Alfred and goes, is there any way we could take refuge in the city somewhere? It'd be away from the ship, and I can watch over him until he gets good, and then we can follow you up. Welker chimes in and goes, no following up. You wait in the village, or you come up with us. There's not going to be any following us up, because we're going in with a caravan, and you guys need to figure all this out pretty fast, because we got to leave with them.
All right, look. Nellis, you've seen him fight. All right. He has special talents. You've seen that too.
Yes, I
He's
hope we
going
don't
to
have fight.
watch you. And I say that to Abrego. He's going to be your bodyguard. He's going to ensure that nothing happens to you. But he can't do that if he's in there, which is where I need him. And I need you to be safe. And I need us to stick together. Are we on the same page about this?
Oh, okay. So he, yeah, you're, no, thank you, Mr. Stonehand. You've been very, very good with caring for me. I really appreciate that.
It's Stone Tooth, but sure. At this
No,
point...
not as a stone hand.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind.
So many stones.
Yeah, we have 2 stones. I actually just named the guy after an old D&D character I had, and when I named him, I completely forgot there was already a stone in the party.
I would also track for Rex to try to take credit for that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's valid.
That's not above Rex. That's not above Rex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kelly takes a deep sigh and goes, all right, well, I can give you something for the nausea then. I don't know if it's a good idea, but if you're going to go up there, you're going to want to take something. She kind of like sets her bag down in the snow, pops it open, starts to go through some stuff, pulls out a couple of pills and hands them to you.
Dum dum dum.
Okay.
Okie
take 'em.
dokie.
Now, look,
All right.
we have these creatures on my world. They're called sniffers. They can track emotion. You're going to be under the guise as a prisoner, our prisoner. Because
Oh, no.
you have a tendency to be emotional.
No. Oh, great, Mama.
Perfect.
Didn't raise no
Oh, great,
Well
mom.
amount to be
Well done.
some prisoner.
That's it. That's exactly what we're going for there. You're a natural.
Oh, I wouldn't. I couldn't let the Mama down like that. That's not going
Keep
to
it
be
up.
like my
Keep it
that's like my douche brother. That's cousin. He's not. No, I'm sorry. I have to respectfully disagree with this.
This is why this will work.
Kelly actually grabs your shoulder, Joe, and goes, "It's all right. I'm gonna be there too. We'll be okay. And I'm sure these guys will get you out. We can trust them."
It's
Listen, Abrego. I know we don't know each other well, but I do have your back.
mm,
He's already saved you once.
Can I make a charisma check on him, or like
charisma manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm being sincere, but yeah, to try
you're
to ease his mind, I guess.
I would allow. Yeah, it'd still be charisma manipulation. Not necessarily because you're lying, but because you are still trying to manipulate his feelings to make it more of ease.
Is there any method for helping him with this?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give you the same role, but
am I opposing him, or are you setting a difficulty?
I'm going to set a difficulty on this because I don't necessarily think he's fighting the trying to make somebody easy to him.
Gerald is openly opposed to this and is actually trying to talk you out of it.
All right. Well, in that case, you're going to be rolling. I believe it's
probably some sort of willpower, right?
We're gonna do resolve and perception.
Yeah, that's a good call.
All right, 21.
Oh.
What do I have? Rolled a 17.
Ooh.
My charisma is 3. That's 20. Yeah, I just got a 20. I'll re-roll.
Okay.
I'll spend 2 to re-roll.
A perk that would help with this shit.
Ooh, I rolled a 19 plus 3 is what? 19, 20, 21,
you got me.
22. I got him.
I hate to do this. I really hate to do this, but I want Gerald to win this. So I'm going to spend one of my GM momentum to make you re-roll that again, Phil.
Damn it.
Sorry, man. I know. But I got to spend them. I got to start spending them on you guys.
That time I rolled a 2, so I fail.
Okay, so it is a visible argument for some time. And it does seem a couple of times like Nellis is about to convince Gerald, and then Gerald just comes back, and it's just back and forth to the point where Nellis is getting a little bit frustrated. When Welker steps in and goes, "Look, I know I'm not in charge of this expedition," and then he looks right at you, Alfred, and he goes, "But if the giant armadillo wants to stay, let him stay. We've got a caravan to catch, and we do not have any more time to fuck around with this."
Doctor, stay with Abrego.
Rex actually walks over to you, Alfred, and goes, "Look, I'm sure the doc can handle herself, but do you want me to stick around too? I can watch over him. I also know people here at the steps, and you'll have the doctor here to check me. I know I'm ADF, but you're going to need Nellis in there. So you might as well leave me here to protect him."
Okay.
Your call,
I'm gonna
though.
use
Cold read?
token.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Is he BSing me?
He is being 100% earnest. He wants nothing but the best for Gerald, and he has no ulterior. It's completely sincere.
Okay.
He is 100% offering an olive branch. He sees you're in a tough spot. He's willing to help protect. He is specifically nervous that while the doctor is a trained Hearth Collective person, she will not be able to handle herself in a fight if that's what it comes to, and he can tell that you're worried about him. And also there's a slight amount of self-serving because, in fairness, while he could cover himself a little bit more than you guys could, Gerald is his only way off the planet right now.
Sounds true.
I stepped to Stone Tooth.
Okay.
I'm like, listen. we had our little conversation back on the Risen. Can I, in fact, trust Welker without you in there with us?
Do I hear this?
Do you want him to hear this?
I don't think I care at this point.
Okay, so yeah, you hear it. He looks at you and goes, yeah, Wilco will get you in, he'll get you out. I'll say this. And then he gets in real close to you, Nellis. He goes, Wilker won't lie to you, but he sure as shit isn't going to die for any of you. That's what you have to remember. If it comes down to it, and he can get out alive, he will get out alive. Do you get my meaning?
I wouldn't have expected any different from you folks.
He's like, he actually looks at you with like this kind of like half-cocked, toothy grin and goes, I'm hurt.
Sure you are.
Rex actually seems like a pretty cool guy to you, Nellis.
Yeah.
he seems pretty upfront. Every time you kind of come in contact with him, he seems like a pretty...
Yeah, he is at least honest.
Yeah, there's actually... everybody give me an empathy roll.
Empathy?
Well,
What
not
is
Gerald.
that
Not
under?
Gerald. It's a charisma-based skill. You
Okay.
probably don't have it. Nobody takes it.
I have good
Put a
charisma, though.
modifier to it.
Yes, of course.
I rolled I have a 19 total. I don't know
Okay.
what your number is.
Difficulty was 10.
21,
Difficulty's 15 for Alfred, though.
yeah. 21.
Okay, so you both got it. Rex legitimately seems like a dude who he's very hard on the outside, and he's definitely a fighter, and he would never let anybody know, but he really wants to be done with what he's been doing in the Dead Seas, and he feels like this is the end of it. So like he's kind of desperate to be done with this undercover bullshit, basically. So that's something that you should keep in mind, just for character stuff. Is like he legitimately sees you guys as a way to get out of the last like fucking 4 years of his life that's been stuck in this terrorist organization pretending to be a terrorist, basically. So
He's done with his undercover.
yeah, he's done. He wants to be done, and he sees this as a way to get him done, and yeah, so he wants to be out.
All right. All right. Stonetooth. Stay on Abrego at all times. He never leaves your sight.
No problem. He looks at Abrego and the doc. He's like, all right, Doc, Priest, come with me. We'll go... Oh, man, I can't remember what the dude's name was. Do you remember what the guy who you were talking to, the salesman, was? Aether?
No, I actually don't remember.
Good job, me. Good job, me. That's all right. That's all right.
Did we get his name?
He definitely said his name in the conversation. I just forgot to write it down, or I wrote it down and threw away my index card. Usually I make the notes on the index cards, but I think I may have just tossed the index card stupidly. So he just basically looks at you and he says that guy's name and says, let's go see him. I know he can get his lodgings for at least a couple of nights, especially on your funds. And then they make their way into the village. So at that point, the party is just... So one half of the party is Gerald, Rex, Kelly, and the other half of the party is Nullis, Pickles, Alfred Whitecastle, and Welker, right? Hobbs back at the ship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Splitting the party always goes well.
We tried.
I've been trying so
You
hard
did.
to split
I'm
you guys
sorry.
up. I love when you guys are split up. Just chaos happened for the first like 6 episodes of the show. Yeah, I was definitely trying. I thought you guys were gonna beat me out for a second there. All right. So at this point, Welker's like, all right, we need to haul ass then. And he basically hauls ass up back into the village. where there is a caravan. And basically, he explains while you guys are going in quick, gruff, short spurts of speech that basically the Dead Seas, to not take over the steppes, to give the steppes the freedom that they get, is that once every week the steppes has to send this big, massive caravan up with a percentage of everything that they get: food, gold, whatever. Just basically like it's like a finder's fee for almost like a mob, but it's more like a lucrative agreement because the steppes make buco off of it, but just these huge caravans have to be sent up to the Dead Seas so that the Dead Seas themselves don't have to do any actual trading with any outsiders or anything. They can basically stay in their mountain and live very happy and prosperous. Welker also explains to both of you that that's one of the big reasons that Gull is so loved, is basically if you're in the Dead Seas and you're a civilian in the Dead Seas, you are just basically taken care of. Like there's nothing to worry about because he has these agreements with these lower tribes towards the bases of the mountains, where they just send stuff up to him, and nobody fucks with those lower tribes because they don't want to incur the wrath of like the third biggest clan in the Northlands. So Gull is very very renowned inside his little clan. But he explains that to you guys. You guys meet up with the caravan. It's like 15, 16 people, some animals, some big pack animals, stuff like that. All like dressed up with creatures, like hunts and other stuff, all being taken up the mountain. You also see a bunch of like cages of some like in carts of some more exotic creatures that you haven't seen before from the outside. You see some of the crystals from the archipelago that power everything. Also, like there's all sorts of stuff. It's not just Northlander stuff going up this mountain. You can tell that the Dead Seas, almost in Hippocratic fashion, like as much as they want to, like have the Northlands be an enclosed place, they are just profiting off of everything outside the Northlands, basically. So you guys pair up with the caravan and you start to head up. You guys slowly start to move through, and if you guys want to do anything during this, let me know. But for now, I'm just going to tell the story of walking unless you guys stop me. Basically, you guys start to head up these huge carved out caverns. They're all stiff inclines, and they start to test even the most physically able members of your party. Even Welker is panting a little bit as you guys walk up these huge. They're just huge, like a giant spiral staircase of a highway that just goes up the mountain. And then at one point, and when it's dark, you see these huge, like, glowing mushrooms that kind of grow out of the sides of the cave walls and the roof of the cave walls that keep everything kind of lit in this kind of weird blue glow. And as you guys move up the caravan, you actually get to the edge of where this mountain kind of ends. And you can see that, like, the cave, there's just this massive cave entrance. It's been carved out of this mountain, and you can see this big stone bridge that's been formed from this cave to the mountain across from it, this mountain, and you can just like go into that cave mountain. So it's kind of crazy, and it gets very scary when you cross that bridge. There's just wind whipping, the snow, you guys are really high, and it's just very like, I don't want to do this. You swear to God one of the people falls over and like nobody even looks, and they're just like, we lose one every time, something like that. Like it's a very tedious and scary climb. You end up entering the other side of the cave and continuing up towards the Dead Seas. Is there anything either one of the two of you want to do with all that time before I switch back over to Gerald for a little bit?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
Maybe
can't.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything specific.
Okay, Gerald. You guys head back into town, and this time Rex kind of does the talking. He goes right back up to the blonde-haired stout that you bought all the clothes from, who is happy to see you, back so soon, and ready for that sermon you promised when Rex actually goes, no, he's actually not feeling good. Do you have a place for him to lay down? And he actually really responds really fast. You can tell that they like to accommodate guests and whatnot, especially out-of-town important VIP guests like you are. And he immediately kind of like takes you to this like kind of built up like almost like Viking hut sort of thing. Inside there's a roaring fire and some really comfy beds, and you're able to like sit down. Kelly helps you sit down. I want you to give me a endurance conditioning. Sorry, man. Sorry.
Oh, what? Nope.
Nope.
Lowered last time.
Okay. All right. You are starting to feel woozy now. Like, you're starting to lose consciousness. Like, without a doubt. Like, you need to go to... You're starting to get that, like, oh, I need to go to sleep now sort of feeling. Kelly's over you the whole time. She's like, hey, it's okay. Lie down here. We've got your back, okay?
Oh, this... I thought I was doing okay.
She's like, it's okay. It's okay. Just relax. Just relax. And, yeah, you're going to pass out.
Oh, boy.
Always good in a role-playing game. Always good
Oh,
to pass
that...
out.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. Well, at least I'm not on the death trail when that happened.
I know,
That's
right?
true. That's true. That's
Fall off of a
true.
bridge.
Well, we'll be back with you, and we'll see if you
Oh,
still
well.
say that. All right. Nellis and Alfred. It takes about like 12 full straight hours of like marching up these mountains. Like the highway is really well cut out of these two mountains, but it's still basically you're climbing mountains. Obviously, it makes it a lot easier to climb the mountain. You don't have to scale the side of it, which is how you can do it in that amount of time, but it takes a long time, especially with the caravan, which is moving relatively slowly. So you guys are getting there kind of just as nightfall happens. And basically, you guys come up off the underground highway into one of the coolest things either one of you have ever seen. I mean, neither of you have experienced this, I don't think, before, something like this. But basically, the mountain is just hollowed out inside where the Dead Seas are. You can actually see tons of different like holes carved into the sides of the mountain where this city is that allow the light in and also allow ships to kind of come and go. You can actually see ships to the exterior of the main city of all shapes and sizes, all robbed, pillaged, taken. Some of them are Axiom ships, some of them are Hearth Collective ships. You've got a few ships from Genesis there, even a couple of archipelagos just hanging around, but they're all like decked out with weird Viking writings, paint on the sides. Some of them actually like on the exterior that would travel through space, like furs hung and shit like that. Like it looks like real crazy stuff when you walk in. The other thing you notice is the huge military presence. And they're not like a straight military, but just like Vikings everywhere. Axes, nasty looking cleavers, serrated swords, a lot of orcs, but you're actually surprised to see the large amount of diverse races that inhabit the Dead Seas. It's not just all orcs. It's not just an orc clan. It definitely started that way, but Gull Draxon opened his borders, which is another piece of information you get going up the mountain. And by opening his borders to anybody who wanted the Hearth Collective's downfall, he got a lot of people who joined. So he's just made this safe haven of hate, basically. So you see a lot of these guys as you guys start to move towards into the city proper. The city proper is really cool, like a modern marvel. The buildings themselves are not built. They were all carved out of the initial mountain and have been here that long. Just slowly, whenever they get cracks, they get a kind of like they use a repair like concrete or whatever, but all of the buildings themselves were actually carved out of the initial mountain and are still connected to the base of the ground, which is uneven but a lot more flat and level than you would have expected it to be. Towards the very back of this half of, like, it's not the whole mountain, obviously. It's the front half to where you guys are, but towards the back of it you could just see carved into the side of the kind of section that's chewed out is like kind of almost like a large castle type structure, but it's weird because it almost looks like one half of the castle, like a plastic mold that hasn't been broken out of the plastic yet. That's what it looks like at the back.
Jutting out of the
wall.
Like
it's like jutting out of the wall. Like the entire cave looks like somebody just like took like a knife and cut out like a, oh man, it's so hard to explain what's happening in my head. Like a bullet shape, okay? Like a bullet shape in the mountain, like a giant bullet shape in the mountain. And then on the back of that bullet shape that's pressed up against the actual stone themselves is where the castle is just carved out of, basically. But not all the way. Like it's just jutting out, basically. So you guys start to walk in. You guys actually do see the sniffers flying around. They look kind of like ladybugs without the red and black spots, just like beetles floating around. And you see these like 3 or 4 tendrils just like dropping off the front of their face. Alfred, you know that's the sniffer part, obviously. They use those tendrils. They don't actually smell things, but they use those tendrils to sense to sense the emotional changes in people. Exactly. Like little Cthulhu beetles just flying around, basically. You also see that they have 6 legs, 3 on either side, and those legs are points, like almost like swords built into their anatomy. So those are the sniffers, and they're just kind of flying around. As the caravan comes up, they come up to the kind of the military presence. One of the larger orcs kind of steps out, starts to talk to one of the caravan leaders. Welker's standing with the 2 of you and goes, "All right, like I said, just grunt if someone talks to you. Don't respond. Don't let them hear your accents." When he finishes talking, though, you actually hear one of the guys, one of the Viking guys on the outside goes, "What was that?" And Welker goes, "Oh, sorry, nothing. Just talking." He goes, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" "Talking about how cold it is out there." The other guy's like, "Oh, you steps guys. You're all babies. It's always this cold up here." "Yeah, sorry. Us steps guys are babies. What can I say?" At this point, one of the sniffers starts to kind of like go across the caravan, and I'm going to need Nellis and Alfred, both of you, to give me we're going to say resolve and charisma. Difficulty is only going to be a 5, though, since you guys are pretty easy about everything right now.
Just don't roll like I have been.
Yeah.
I'm good. I have a 12.
All right.
Yeah, I rolled straight 16 before modifiers.
All right, Sniffer starts to come by. Little tendrils, just kind of looking at things. Doesn't seem to see you guys. Just doesn't seem to notice you guys.
This is going to be kind of a weird question.
Sure.
And this is more of an Ash question, but this
Okay.
thing kind of sounds kind of cute. Is it kind of cute, or am I like just totally misreading this thing?
I mean,
it's really horrifying.
cute
Is the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, I was about to say, cute's in the eye of the beholder, man. There are definitely some things that people say are cute that I wouldn't say are cute. It doesn't, like, you could see how a series of these things would be really creepy crawly and could take people apart, but it doesn't look extremely menacing. No. Like, this is not a thing that's, like, gonna, like, give you the heebie-jeebies at night, but, like, if, like, 37 of them came out at you and smelled fear with their knife hands, you might not like them.
Okay. All right.
But
All right.
cute's in the eye of the beholder, and I can't draw this thing, so because I can't draw, so
It's a giant ladybug with like tentacle faces, like sniffing around. It was like. I mean,
oh, isn't
I-
the
I
little
find
knife
one.
bug cute? Just starts petting it. Cute little knife bug. Okay. So Alfred, call high or low for me.
hi.
Okay, all right. The little ladybug sniffer just keeps on going down and sniffs some people and then flies off. At that point, the main guy is like, "All right, let him on through. You guys know where to go. Straight to the castle, down the road. That's where you offload in Guldraxon's main reception." And then one of the caravan guys nods and then gives a yeah, and then the whole caravan starts to move down the main streets again. Do you guys want to do anything at this point? Like, you guys have passed the guard now, you can kind of start talking to each other. I would keep it in whispers, but Welker's
Okay,
like, all right, so here's how it goes. In the cave, in the castle, behind the castle, there's a fresh cave. They're always carving this mountain out. That's where we think they're keeping the hub.
What is? I have to whisper. What is the access to the castle? How do we gain access to this? Is there a time of day where the guards are less, or?
The caravan is going
Caravan?
to take us right into the castle, the main structure. The tricky part, though, is once we're in the main structure, once inside the main structure, there's a large reception area. That's where the caravan goods are inspected by the Dead Seas and unloaded. It's at that point that we're going to have to make our way into the castle structure, but we're going to have to find a time to slip away because we'll already be in the castle. I can't think of a better way to gain access.
All right.
I'm going to say this, though. We need to stay away from there. He points to kind of the west side of the city. You don't really necessarily see anything right away, but probably about like 3 or 4 blocks away, you see just like one tower kind of slightly above. Like, all the buildings here are at least like 2 to 3 stories high. Basically, when they were making this village, they carved out, like I said, all the buildings that there's going to be. So it's basically like everybody's living in an apartment. And they're all in apartment buildings, basically. Like, that's what this place looks like. Because all these buildings were carved out when this mountain was made hundreds and thousands of years ago. So, like, when they made it, at least they had the foresight to make the buildings big so that it's very easy to accommodate all the people that they would eventually need, which you see a lot of people here. They do all look relatively happy, but you do see a ton of people walking around. Civilians, kids, whatever. But he points off to the other side, and you do see one tower that kind of stands out because it's circular instead of square. He goes, that building's been claimed by Volker. That's where he trains all his creatures. We need to stay away from there. I mean, unless you're really wanting to investigate this and echelon at the end thing. Because, personally, I think he's behind it. Your call. But
Hub is the first priority.
He points at the pickles. He goes, but I'd keep him as far away from Volker as you can if you want to keep him yours.
The hub is the main priority. We need to stay focused on that.
At this point, you guys also see something else. There are Zix just walking around the street. Red tinted Zix just walking around the street.
They have that glow.
Yep, they've got the glow. Like, and honestly, it's a little nerve-wracking at first. Not nerve-wracking enough to make the sniffers get you, but but you see them kind of just like mingling around and walking around, and people just walking around them like with no fear whatsoever, because they're just kind of like patrolling, just like they almost look like RoboCops in the street, just like walking a beat. So yeah, but you start to see them around too.
Have you been in Wilker? Have you been in this building before? This castle?
Welker's like, I have not been in the castle. I don't think Rex has either. I mean, I've been in the reception area. I've been part of the party that checks people in and out, but I've never gone into the structure of the castle, the inside living quarters, the planning quarters. Only the higher of the higher ups get in there, and I certainly haven't been in the new caves towards the back.
How much report do you have with Gull?
I've never personally spoken to Gull. I know of him. He's handed down orders. I've seen him. But I mean, I guess I can't say to you, it's like being in the ADF and knowing Taya Valk, because I do, but it's the same kind of principle. I was a foot soldier when I was undercover here.
Of course. What about, do they stay in the castle? Do they live there? Would Volker be living in there?
I don't know. He might. He's Gull's right-hand guy. He spends a lot of time with Gull and in the castle, but when he's not in the castle, he's over there at his aviary.
I mean, listen, we ain't searching him out, but if we run into him, we're gonna have to deal with it when the time comes.
He nods. He looks at you very seriously and goes, "Look, I'm less scared of Gull than I am of Volker. Let's just try and steer clear of him. Deal with the hub as best we can."
Fair enough.
Right.
All right. You guys have kind of reached Midtown now. The castle's kind of getting bigger and bigger in front of you. You kind of realizing that there's kind of like the trick of the perception when it comes to this place, because it's so big, but with the whole mountain above it, it makes it look small when you're in it, but then you realize from walking and walking and walking just how big it is. So you're getting that kind of feeling as the castle gets bigger and bigger and bigger in front of you. Do you guys do anything else in the conversation? Anything else whatsoever?
I don't think so.
I mean, it's okay to say no. I just want to give you guys opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, we know where we gotta go.
One question, you said it's nighttime now by the time we got here?
Yes.
Okay. So it's getting a little bit dark. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. I need to make some rolls real quick for the other half of the party.
I will say one thing while you're doing that, since you're rolling for Abrego, and I'm about to use the restroom. I'm about to like explode.
Go.
Back in 1 sec.
We got sleep and then explode.
Oof.
All right.
Oh boy.
All right. Abrego, give me endurance conditioning. It's gotta be endurance conditioning. I can't think of anything else to give you right now.
$16.
Wait a second. No. I'm sorry. It's endurance constitution.
14.
Okay. I should have let it be conditioning. Okay, all right.
Unless it's non-contested, then I can add to it.
You're starting to come to. Because you're feeling some cold. It's non-contested.
No, so that's +2.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you suddenly feel cold, like a shock, and you can feel that your body is kind of like you're doing this thing where you're like, you don't want to wake up. There's something like it feels like a weight on your eyelids. You know what I mean? Like just being 40 and trying to wake up in the morning. That's how you feel. And like,
Oof.
yeah, exactly. And as you're dragged through the snow, you suddenly, the cold is what alerts you to what's going on. And then you, sure enough, you wake up. And what you see is... two guys dragging you. They're dragging you through the snow. One of them goes, he is absolutely heavy. You recognize the voice. The other one goes, I know, but there was no other way around it. Right?
Oh.
And then you hear Kelly's voice go, no, of course there was no other way around it. I had to put him out. I tried to make him sick so that it'd be easier to ambush him, but the dumb lunk puked it out. At that point he goes, yes, sister, you did so good. At that point, the other Ned, because I'm sure you figured that out by now, goes,
what?
What?
Kelly was in on it the whole time.
Dun.
The other Ned goes, it's like, maybe I didn't cut you deep enough. She's like, well, any deeper and you would have killed me. Oh, do I detect a sour hint on the cut? She's like, no, you did what you had to. At that point, she's like, it ingratiated me to him. He's been trusting me for days. And now we've accomplished our mission.
Wiz, we can't leave. We're stuck on Axiom.
Oh, oh, those sons
What the fuck
Am I
happened?
tied up, or do they just
Stone
think I'm
dude.
unconscious?
What'd you say?
Am I tied up, or do they think I'm unconscious?
You don't have your gun. You're not tied up. They think you're unconscious. Each Ned has a leg, and they're just dragging you through the snow.
Motherfuck.
I want those guys.
This is your fault, Brian.
Give me
You should have came with us.
You have no idea why I'd fight y'all on that.
While you are awake, you do immediately realize that it will be very easy to give away that you are awake, depending on how you look around and how you do stuff.
Oh, he's just listening.
Okay, all right. The banter continues a little bit in a sociopathic sort of manner as they drag you onto a ship. It's just a...
You know how good armadillos are at playing dead?
It's a small shuttle type ship, so you're assuming it's not like the main thing. You're actually surprised that this thing, like, there aren't a lot of ships like this that can land in the area. That's why they sent you guys in the first place. These kind of ships don't exist. But it looks like a heavily modified kind of like shuttle type ship. And it's pretty dinged up. You actually see that it's landed kind of on the side of the mountain, kind of away from the steps, so that it's actually like at a 45-degree angle, just barely balancing there. You can actually hear it creak as they start to drag you up, and you hear Kelly go, "Bang up parking job! I can't believe you guys didn't fall into a ravine." The one Ned turns around and goes, "Do you know how hard it is to fly a ship onto this planet and land on a goddamn mountain in a snowstorm? She's like, oh, fuck you. You didn't land on a snowstorm. You were here days ago when I told you to come here. When I told you this was where we were going to end up. It's like, all right. Let's just get in and call Volker. At that point, they drag you up the ramp. And your head kind of like bounces off the ramp. If you're going to attempt to stay completely immobile without reacting to that, I'm going to need an endurance resolve check.
Wait, call Volker? I thought Volker was...
20 flesh.
So many things.
It would be 21, but I'm still nauseous.
Okay. All right. So it's a 20. You know the danger you're in, and you're like possuming it out, like to nobody's like you are the possum of possums right now. Just plop plop, plop plop, just like dead weighting it. You're almost dead weighting it so good that you're heavier than you normally are. Like that's how well you're doing this. But they drag you up into this very, very small shuttle ship, which you can tell this ship is not like... This ship does not have an astral drive. This is a atmosphere ship from a bigger ship, basically. A transport. Kind of like the one that you came up to the Risen on. They pull you on, and then like another one kind of like puts you off to the side, and he goes... And I was like, oh, finally. The fat one is like, oh, finally. It was so heavy. And the other Ned goes, yes, well, somebody should be eating some more leafy greens. And then he slaps him in the stomach, and he goes, He's like, I'll say this. Do we got to tie him up or something? Nell kind of looks at him. I'm sorry, Kelly kind of looks at him and goes, he should be out. I gave him enough to put him out for some time, though he did resist the poisons in my tea. Yeah, we should tie him up.
I called the fucking tea thing, too. I wasn't really serious, though. Shit.
It's only one of us got poisoned.
Yep.
Well, you know...
She's got them rogue skills. At that point, the thinner Ned kind of walks over, grabs like some cuffs, and then kind of walks over towards your body, while the bigger Ned walks up to the front and starts to do, flight takeoff procedures. What are you doing, man?
Stealth takes place before initiative, right?
Yes. If you successfully roll stealth, you have basically a free action before anybody can do anything. Depending on what you do, though, I may require a second or third roll, just so you know.
That's fair.
Because you probably won't be able to, like, get up and run across the ship to the controls.
Right. Or, like, drawing his weapon off him might be, like, a trickier business than just...
You need a thief, sort of...
Perception awareness, am I aware of an opportunity between... or when they start trying to close the door?
To get out of the door?
Oh no, not specifically.
It's going to be hard for me to tell you an opportunity if it arises if I don't know what you're looking for exactly.
Okay. I would like to, if there, because it's a question of timing. I'm hearing them like talk about tying me up while there's movement. If the the ship doors still open, like they're in the process of closing it, I want to yeet the Ned out the door.
Okay, all right. Give me a awareness perception. Then I'm gonna say.
20? Or I guess that'd be 21.
Okay, well, giving a difficulty doesn't matter then. Take a momentum for that because that was all you. I will say the yeeting will require a. I guess that would be like a stealth check, but you would have to add the effect of
stealth
grapple.
check and then a unarmed.
It would just be stealth because the stealth check is the attack. However, you need to add the effect of grapple to be able to move him in a direction, or stagger.
Okay.
One of those effects need to be added because stagger moves him in a certain amount of feet equal to the amount you beat him by, which you're going to beat him by a lot. And then grapple allows you to like grab him and then move him. I would do stagger if you want.
Yeah,
to just
stagger's my thought. It's not like necessarily I have to like hold on to him and then fight him out.
Right.
I'm just kind of like bum rushing him out.
Double kicking. Okay, give me you have to spend a momentum for the stagger. And then go ahead and roll stealth plus agility.
Dice. Okay.
Oh, difficulty is going to be kind of there though, man, because it's still like all their eyes are on you, even though they think you're unconscious. So I'm gonna say it is getting dark though. All right, so his awareness is okay. So your difficulty right now is 10 plus his awareness, so you're gonna be at a 12. 12
That
to stealth
is
him.
with all my modifiers. That is 20.
Okay, so that's 8 feet. You shove him. All right.
Yeah, he's going out the door, and whether that door closed on him is his problem.
What's hilarious too is you technically also do 20 points of damage to him. So let me figure that out real quick.
Maybe the door is shutting on him.
Or maybe I misheard and the door was actually closed, and it's really horrifying.
You pushed him through a metal door.
Well, that's gonna do wonders for the aerodynamics.
So 20. Give me a d20 roll real quick. I gotta figure out where it hits him.
17? I never remember where all the targeting is.
I know. I really need to like make cheat sheets.
I just don't hit people that often. Blinks makes sense.
There we go. You said 17?
Yep.
Oh, shit. Okay. Alright.
I'm gonna say I had my eyes closed, and armadillos don't echolocate, so I can probably completely misreading the dimensions and obstacles inside this small shuttle.
Okay, alright, so here's what happens. He basically kind of like moves around you. He ends up kind of perfectly fitting himself into the spot where you haven't really opened your eyes, but you know well enough that your feet are pointed towards the ramp that you were kind of coming in at, and his back is now to that ramp. You can actually feel the liftoff of the shuttle as they start to lift off the mountain, and you can feel it kind of twist and wonk a little bit, and it's at this point that he bends down to clamp your wrist. He actually gets the clamp around the wrist. You have to wait until he's in position. So the wrist clamp goes on, and as he's dragging your hand up to clamp you to one of the bench seats, you just bring up both of your giant, massive Arma legs, put them right to his chest. His eyes go wide, and you just mule hurl him. It's not even really a kick. You just like launch him off his feet backwards. As the door is coming up, he slams into the door, rolls up slightly, like kind of flips over himself, Just enough so that his right leg slides into where the ramp meets the ship. Crack! It just lands on him. It doesn't have it because it's a shuttle, so it doesn't have enough force to actually sever it. And you actually hear alarm bells, like safety catches go on, like door obstruction, door obstruction. And he's just like just like screaming. At this point, the entire ship starts to lurch back and forth. You can hear Ned from the cockpit is like, get the door shut! You have to shut the door! I can't control it! The wind's catching us! And the whole thing's kind of jostling. At this point, though, Kelly's like, son of a bitch, he's awake! And then she rushes over towards you, pulling a syringe out of her pocket and trying to bring it down on you. This is an attack.
Alright. What's my defense?
So it's agility, plus you're unarmed right now because you're unarmed.
1.
Ooh. Okay, she definitely hits you by a lot. Thankfully, she's not trying to do any actual damage to you. Alright, so she hits you for... She gets a 21 on the roll. What?
I forgot to roll to see if I kept my momentum, and that
Go
is
for
a
it.
20. I kept my momentum.
Alright, do you want to spend it to re-roll your roll? Or no? Because she's about to hit you with a 21.
I mean... I only have 1.
Okay, your call.
I have a force of 1. I can't beat that.
Okay, alright.
Isn't it agility?
It's
Oh,
agility.
I don't have... I have an agility of 1, and I don't have unarmed.
Okay, so what was your
I
total?
am not fast.
Well, remember, it's how much she beats you by. I will say this, she's not doing damage. She's doing something very different.
Oh, yeah. That is a... 8.
So you got a total of 8?
Total of 8.
Alright, so she beat you. So she got a 23... No, yeah.
And I only have
21.
1 momentum at the moment, so I can't
Alright,
spend 2
so-
to re-roll it.
Right. So 8 from 21 is 13. So, okay, so now you need to give me an endurance constitution check, and you need to beat a... You need to beat a 23. Basically, she just brings... She, like...
Yeah.
Elbow drops with the syringe, driving it right into your chest, perfectly placing it between armor plating, and just... You just see the medicine go right into you and get real freaked out by that. Because it's right in front of you.
Alright, it's, Is it contested, endurance, constitution?
No, it's non-contested. It's just she hits you for so much. Instead of dealing damage to you, she's increasing your difficulty to fight off the effects. Like, that's how well she shot you up with this fucking shit.
That beat 23?
You have to beat a 23 because you failed by 13. The normal difficulty is a 10, so that adds up to 23. So she's not doing any actual damage to you. She perfectly placed this medicine basically in your fucking artery. Like, that's basically what happened.
Oof. I cannot beat a 23. Does it help if I get really close?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, depending on your idea of help. Depending on your idea of help. All right, so we just this huge syringe.
I'm gonna spend the momentum to lower the difficulty.
Okay.
And so that is effectively 21. A stupid -1.
Ooh, 21. Okay, so only 2 shy then.
Yeah, that's as
Okay.
hard as I can push it.
All right,
And we
syringe.
will keep the momentum.
Yeah.
Is fortunate 10 or greater, or greater than 10?
It's greater than 10, I'm pretty sure. I will check for
Oh.
you.
No,
To make sure.
that's fair. It should be. It's
It's
higher or low.
50-50. Yeah, it's 50-50
Okay,
basically.
I know I didn't get it back.
All right, so boom, syringe hits you perfectly, dead center chest, fits right between your plating. It's horrifying because in 1 second the syringe hits you, like, because she's above you and you're still on the ground. So the syringe comes down into your chest and you literally watch the green medicine just go right from the syringe into your body in a half second as it drives down into you, just stinging cold pain radiating out through your chest as this happens. And you hear her just go, "God damn it, Abrego!" But, however, you now get an action. Because you are not quite asleep yet. Like,
Not quite asleep yet, huh?
look, it's gonna put you out. You failed. I can't stop that. However, you managed to only fail by 2, so you are going to get at least a couple of rounds to fight against the infinite sorrow of what's about to happen. I need to make a quick navigation check for our pilot here while he tries to manage the wind. Oh no! Okay. All right. Okay. So what you doing, man?
Oh boy,
I just want everybody to know this is not what I intended for this to happen.
No, probably not.
None of this is what I expected.
Oh, this is probably a terrible idea.
Okay. I like those.
She's got the syringe in my chest.
Uh-huh.
I lock the other cuff around that wrist.
Give me a roll. It's still unarmed force.
Unarmed force.
Yeah.
14.
Okay. Let me roll to dodge. Okay. All right. You like she drives it in and you're just like, "Oh!" And you just whip the thing around. Click. It just clicks right into place around her hand. She's like, "Oh! What in the fuck are you doing?" Like trying to rip it away. But yeah, you've got her. Like you've attached it to her. However, it is at this point that the pilot, Ned, who is confused, does not understand what's happening, is distracted by his brother's constant screams of pain, turns around to try and see what's going on, takes his eyes off of what he's doing for a second, while the balance of this shuttle is already thrown off by the very windy mountains and the man's legs sticking out of the back. The entire shuttle hits a bad piece of air, swings the wrong way, slams into the side of the mountain. You end up feeling this feeling of weightlessness as the entire ship then comes off of it. Ned in the cockpit tries to grab the handle, but the weightlessness catches him as he's falling and pulls him away from the pilot thing. And at that point, the entire ship just topples down the mountain with all four of you, screaming. And yeah,
I have a cushion.
That's definitely where we're gonna pause you.
You're gonna squish Kelly.
I hope so. Man, she's...
Dude,
So angry for a
it
break.
sucks that we
I-
don't know that this is
I
going on.
suspected,
I know.
but I knew Gerald wouldn't, and it's just like, it's to see a train. He's like this light coming down the tunnel. It's like,
No, you played it right.
I want to truly and utterly praise your role playing in that situation because I realized that you all figured out that it was Kelly poisoning him, and I knew you knew it, and I was like, they're gonna get around it, and then you just took the pills. I was like, holy shit, he just took the pills. Not even an ounce of metagame.
I saw
love
everybody
it, man.
else's faces too. They
You're
were like, "Oh,
yeah,
you did."
Yeah, everybody else did. Was like, oh, he just took them? He just took the pills? Like, well played, sir. I truly give you praise, my friend. That is, like, even the most battle-hardened RPGer would have a real hard time just popping those pills in his mouth, and you're just like, you're a trusted doctor, let's fucking do this. Like, well done. Well done. I would have a hard time doing that. All right, so we're going to skip back over to the reception area for our final scene of the game today. Nullis, Alfred, you guys reach the castle. Giant, massive doors swing open, allowing the caravan into this huge amphitheater of a room. And the castle is massive. Like, once you guys got up close to it, because you kind of actually thought it was small, you're like, well, it's just the front half of a castle kind of cut in half. But once you got close to it, you realize that it's just this massive carved out of the thing. Like, it looks cut in half from a distance, but it's just huge. Like, not really deep, but just, it's so big out of the side of the wall that it's not really that it's not deep. It's just that's what it looks like. But this huge amphitheater, you guys see at least 20 guys in here, and probably 10 Zix patrolling around, a couple of sniffers flying around, and then the caravan just all starts to kind of unload after some of the people start talking. Welker actually looks at the both of you and goes, "We need to start unloading. We need to start moving." And he just grabs a crate of something and starts to move it to an area, and you can see that the soldiers are actually directing people. There's a kind of a spot for exotic animals. There's a spot for exotic off-world stuff. Then there's a spot for food, and then there's a spot for just straight money. And then each spot has different crates and different carts that the caravan has to fill up. And then the soldiers are actually in rotation, kind of grabbing the warriors. They're not really soldiers. They don't really look like soldiers. They're kind of grabbing the carts once they're full and kind of rotating them out and taking them back further into the castle. So what do you guys want to do?
We could use pickles. He said the exotic animals. We could start walking Pickles deeper into the castle, and it would give us an excuse.
Yeah, is there anything that's being unloaded? I look around to see if maybe the animals are being unloaded deeper into the castle or in more of a shady area.
They aren't. However, the animals are mostly being unloaded in cages.
Can I look for any packages that seem to be getting unloaded in a kind of a shadier area, someplace darker or shady?
Yeah, sure. Give me this would definitely be rogue skills. Rogue and intelligence. Difficulty is going to be a 15, though. Most things are pretty above board here.
Holy I got with 6. I
Wow.
don't see anything.
Man, no. These are the most honorable Vikings you've ever met in your fucking life.
Right.
Were you looking for a dark area, dark as in no sun, or dark as in...
Deeper in the castle where maybe
there might be an area where we could sneak off or something like
Oh.
that.
Just so that everybody is aware, one more time, you're in a mountain, so there's no real sun here, and it's nighttime anyway at this point because you guys, it was night when you were getting up in here.
I got you. I was just confused. Shit. How many people are there out here as we're unloading?
Like total number of people between caravan and warriors, or what exact number are you looking for?
But the warriors.
There's about 20 warriors and 10
Oh, okay.
Zix.
So there's a shitload. Okay.
There's a shitload of warriors. Yeah, they are spread out. They're not like all in because it's like I said, it's a huge amphitheater. There's lots of carts. Plus, with the 20 warriors, there's probably about like 10 of them that are running carts back deeper into the castle and back and forth. So like, there's a constant rotation. So like, the most there is 20. But every so often there's 15. Every so often there's 16. Every so often there's 10. Do you see what I'm saying? Because, 10 of the warriors are running the carts deeper.
I want to... You tell me how you want me to do this. I want to make some sort of animal check.
Okay.
To try to convey to Pickles, to command him to lead us to Gull.
Ooh.
And see if he responds obviously we're not physically talking to each other, but if it's he knows the way or he doesn't.
Give me animal charisma. I'm going to say, though, that the difficulty is going to be 20, but failure might still get you things. Just because telling an animal to look for one specific person is difficult, but...
No fucking shit. I just crit.
Well, there's no crits in this game. We're not playing TMNT, but you definitely nailed the difficulty. That's what matters. So you basically look at him, and then you kind of look up at, a picture of Gull, and then you look back at him, and he, clicks at you. And you can tell he knows where to go. I am going to say he just starts walking in the right direction, unless you stop him.
Yeah, I'm going to, whistle at him and, give him, the be stealthy, shh.
All right, you whistle at him, and he stops and kind of looks at you kind of confused for a second. And then he gets it, but just the whistle was enough to one of the warriors kind of walks over to you and goes, "Hey, what's going on with this one? Why isn't it in a cage?" Well done. I was waiting for you to say something. I was like, I gotta test the accent once. At that point, Welker just materializes out of nowhere. Basically, he's just there. He's like, oh, that one. We wanted to take that one to Gull personally. It's a prized possession. We also think it's one of Volker's that got free on the ship, so we wanted to bring it back to him. No, take that back. He doesn't say that. It's one of Volker's that we think got free that we want to bring back to him. It's got his markings. At that point, he looks and goes, Volker's? That would make sense. I never seen one of those things other than in Volker's sick-ass aviary. He kind of.
I give him the Toolman Taylor.
Give me a quick charisma manipulation. Difficulty's 5. 'Cause you are an orc.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, you pass. However, the orc steps up to you and just kind of looks at you and goes, oh man, we got a pinky here. Okay, all right. Which one was the one that gave you no color? The mom or the dad? And then he clasps your shoulder, but it starts to kind of piss you off a little bit. So I'm gonna need a resolve.
Yeah.
And a resolve. I know what Know your character. I'm gonna need resolve, and we're gonna say intelligence. Cooler heads prevail here.
Fuck me. All right. Okay. What's my difficulty?
10.
I'm spending a token to reroll because I rolled a 2.
You need 2 tokens to reroll.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay.
12.
Okay. All right. It pisses you off. It pisses you off hardcore. You're already in a spot where like you're here because of history shit. Now this motherfucker wants to call you a pinky. You really want to shoot him.
Yeah, I'd say if White Castle's looking at me, he sees me like start to go to my hip and then like tense and put my hand back down.
No. Please don't, please don't. At this point, however, I am going to say one of the sniffers all of a sudden stops and kind of like starts to hover back over towards you guys and lands on one of the carts near you. And the 4 tentacles kind of like come up and like wivel through the air at you as it cocks its head. So I'm going to need another resolve check. We're going to say resolve charisma on this one. But you are going to need a 15 this time.
Ooh.
Boy, what are we gonna do here?
I got a 9.
Okay. All right. I gotta make a roll here. Unless Alfred has any bright ideas, I gotta make a roll.
I'm trying so hard right now, but I can't even talk. Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm moving crap around, right? Like I'm helping move stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop whatever it is I'm carrying on the foot of a guard. I'm gonna try to pretend like I trip and just drop it on the foot of a guard.
I love this game.
A performance roll.
We haven't had any fights in like fucking 5 episodes, and it's so tense. Just like
I know.
watching people do like Abbott and Costello shit. All right. I think that would be a performance roll. I think I'm actually gonna agree with him on that one. Performance charisma, because you're trying to make a big show out of it.
I happen to not have performance.
What?
So,
Glad I picked that one. I'm glad I
straight
picked that one.
charisma it is.
I'm gonna say difficulty's like 10. Because
Well, actually, I rolled a
you-
straight 15, and I have
Okay.
a 3 in charisma.
I mean, you're trying to drop it on his foot. Take out
Yeah.
momentum for that. And at that point, so you just like, you're seeing it, and you just like drop it right onto a guard's foot. It hits him. It's just like a big, like, it's like a big box of those ether crystals from the archipelago. It just hits his foot. A couple of the crystals fall out, kind of crack. There's a big like shing as the whole thing dumps, and he's oh god, what are you doing? At that point, the sniffer beetle just kind of like rears up and kind of like all the sniffer beetles just like float in to where the guard is and where you are. The guard in front of Nullus just kind of like punches him in the shoulder lightly and goes, don't take it too hard. And then he just like goes back about his business. And Welker takes a deep breath. However, they both turn around to you as you, as the one guard's like, what the hell are you doing?
Okay, so this is what I would like to try to do,
Okay.
GM, and let me know if I can pull this off.
All right.
Linguistics is actually a skill of mine. So
Wow.
I want to try and...
Whittling sticks, is that what you said?
Linguistics.
Oh, Jesus. I'm
actually-
like, what?
I want to start a
That's
fire!
I don't think that's in the
Lingo.
book.
No, let the man cook.
So I kind of want to see if I can't use that to make an accent, basically. Like I'm from here.
All right. Knock it out. I'm going to say you have been listening to them for a few, like, for quite a while now, almost a day and a half now. You've been listening to them, so you kind of in your head, you're like, I think I can do this dialect. I think I can pull this off. So go ahead and give me a d20 roll. I'm going to say that the difficulty is 10, and you would use linguistics and intelligence.
I got a 17.
Nice! Take another momentum, and might I just say, impressive. So Welker is like trying to get back over to you. He can't quite because like 3 guards have stepped up to you. So what do you say? You still have to defuse the situation.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I just my first time here. I just got distracted. I'm sorry, sir. I started going down to pick up the crates and to start putting the crystals in and tried to repair the situation.
Okay, so the warrior kind of steps up to you, like looking real loomy and angry, like looming over you and looking real angry, and then he just kind of like. It's like, I get it. I had a first day too. And surprising to you, he actually like bends down. He puts up the crate. He starts to help you put the crystals back in, even though his foot is broken. It's all right, man. I get it.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate.
Hey, man. Terrorists are people too. I just watched Brian lose his shit. Brian's just losing shit.
Does he actually say that?
No. I said that.
You never get me, but you got me.
I said it, and Brian lost his mind. Oh man, that's the clip that'll get me canceled right there. All right, but yeah, he helps you with the crystals. He puts it in, and one thing you're noticing is that Welker was right. These people are not like they're people who believe in something. Doesn't mean that they're just the worst scum of the earth. It just means that they're on the wrong side of it, you know? And it's kind of weird. It definitely makes you feel very awkward inside that you are here to not necessarily hurt them, but you know what I mean? Like destroy the hub or whatever. Yeah, a little bit hurt them. A little bit shoot a lot of them. John Wick the shit out of their faces. But, yeah, so it definitely makes you feel weird. But he helps you with the crystals, and then he puts it down on it, and, yeah. He claps his shoulder. He's like, yeah, I was new once. Just don't worry. Just be more careful, all right? We don't want to break this stuff, okay? I don't want to cost anybody their tributes.
Did that take the heat off of me? Did that distract the sniffer?
Oh yeah. Oh. All the sniffers got called to the guard when he screamed in pain.
Okay.
So like it pulled all the eyes off you. It actually pulled all the eyes off you. Period. So what are you guys doing now?
I wanna gesture, like, just nod in the direction and start following Pickles. Let him lead and be a little stealthy.
Give me a stealth check, stealth agility.
For Pickles?
For you.
For me?
Yeah, for you. To kind of like wander into the castle without them seeing you during the fracas. Just do me a favor, and you will. It's only going to be a 10 because it's still light in here, but
I got it.
Okay. But like they are all distracted by Wiz, and it is kind of there are plenty of shadows to move in, so you're able to vanish. Really quickly. What would Welker do in this place? I don't know if Welker would stay with Alfred. I think he might just follow Nellis. You know what? Give me a call high or low there, Alfred. Put it in your hands.
Low. I did
Procedurally generate this shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Welker actually, like, you can see Welker. He sticks it out with you. But, Nellis, you are able to get deeper into the castle with Pickles. without being undetected. However, you are now alone because White Castle is the center of all the attention in the reception area at this current time. And Welker, however, does decide to stay along with Alfred to look for another chance to get further into the castle. However, it is 11:30, ladies and gentlemen. That is where we have to pause for the evening. I think we've left it in a pretty good cliffhanger. All hell's gonna break loose.
Literally or otherwise.
That was really a fun session, man. These sessions they never cease to amaze me at how entertaining they are, even when people are just talking. And when it wasn't just talking, you guys are really a great group of role players that I am honored to play with.
I will say I will second that, man. Like, some of the stuff you guys are pulling off, like, god damn, that was impressive.
I want to say this, and the people out there might not know this, but the way our XP is delineated in this game is everybody gets 5, and then everybody gets like points here and there for role playing. They also get points based on momentum they have left over, but each character gets, one character gets an MVP, a 3-point MVP bump in their experience points. You can't win it 2 times in a row. It is Sophie's fucking choice. Every time I go to do this, it's like every session, like everybody had this moment where you're like, that was really cool. And then you're about to give it out and you're like, oh, but what about that part? Oh, and then what about that part? You know, like, especially the one session where Wiz punched a guy for no reason in the interrogation room. Like, that was an amazing moment. But at the same time, like, Gerald was doing, like, fucking sweet-ass role-playing because he did all the, like, the distraction shit in the when they were fighting. You, like, walked out making noise with your luggage. And then Nullus had all this introspection shit with Thaddeus. And I'm like, who the fuck do I give the 3 points to? In all fairness, I think I gave like one of you the MVP, and then I gave everybody else like 3 points for role playing. Just didn't call it the MVP because I could not make the decision. I think that's actually the session that one of you actually was like, I don't think I deserve this. And like in the back of my head, I'm like, everybody got it. like everybody deserved it. Like,
oh, you know it's good when you get that.
Yeah. You guys have been great.
It's so much fun.
Brian, I have to say, Brian really, like, when I was watching Brian's last interaction, I was like on the edge of my seat.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with like my wheels of my head just like going full tilt, going, okay, all right, how in the world, like, how's Gerald gonna get through this?
Really expected the fighting to not be all on Gerald Abrego. That's what I said.
This seems to keep happening. I have one entire point in combat.
I know, and you somehow are constantly getting in fights. I thought that was really interesting. I was really expecting Nullus or Alfred to do the fighting, to be honest. So yeah,
it was so close.
Yeah,
it would go a lot. It would normally go a little bit more stably if Alfred was doing the fighting, but inconveniently.
I just love how it went together. I love the leg. Yeah, like, you rolled injury on his leg. He somehow managed to survive his death check. He had an 18 difficulty and rolled a 20. So he's still alive, but, like, your injury was to his leg. So I'm like, okay. And then, like, I'm like, well, that would throw the whole fucking ship off fucking course. And then, like, it was just... And then I rolled the pilot check for the other Ned. He rolled a 5.
So he couldn't maintain it.
So he couldn't maintain it. Like, he needed a 10. He rolled a 5. It was, it was a comedy. That was really cool. All of it was really cool. Like, all the role-playing, everything everybody did. I do want to say to everybody out there, before we start giving plugs, we have some scheduling conflicts, and we also just need to take one off, I think. So we are taking a very small hiatus. Very small by... We're only really going to miss 1 week since we do this bi-weekly. But our next session would technically be on the 27th. It will no longer be on the 27th. Our next session will be on October 11th come back for that, and then we will be back to the bi-weekly schedule. Just Aether had to do some out-of-town stuff, and we've been going strong for 11 episodes, so why not take one off? It's a perfect way to keep people waiting, chomping at the bit to come back.
We lost the mountains for 2 weeks. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
You would think shit's gonna be going down next time, so.
Isn't it, Brian? You're going to the mountains?
No,
Oh, okay.
but
Okay.
The mountains are coming to
metaphorically,
Brian.
I've lost in the mountains.
The mountains are coming to Brian. Is what's happening.
Yeah.
Aether Dios, anything you want to plug?
Don't buy Starfield until it's on sale. And then
I think
even
this
then,
game's better than Starfield. I'm gonna say that.
that's about it. No, it's.
I think I'm
gonna
doing
watch
better than
paint dry
Starfield.
instead.
It definitely gets worse the more you play it. That's how I feel about it. Nullus, Philbilly330. Anything you want to plug, sir?
This show, TMNT and Other Strangeness, and then Wiz and Zach allowed me to be a guest on Wizard Sanctorum coming out tomorrow, I think, right?
Yep.
So check that out. We talk about the basically being new to TTRPG and tips and tricks for finding groups and the upsides and downsides and all that good stuff.
Just to roast you for a second, I actually named the episode "Who Do You Jive With?" Mainly because upon editing, I realized that you said jive no less than like 14 times in the episode. I don't know why it was your
That's
word.
weird. I don't even think that I use that word that
I've
frequently.
never heard you say jive in my entire fucking life, and you just kept saying jive like over and over again. I was like, God damn, Phil. It was hysterical. So I was like, I gotta. It's Who Do You Jive With? It's perfect. And I'm very proud of that too. That was a really great episode. Wiz, anything you want to plug?
The Wizard's Respite, my website. All of these episodes can be found on there. Tomorrow's episode, which is dropping here, is also being posted on the website, so please check it out. It's a site about all things TTRPG. We do tips, tricks, these videos, and yeah, that's my plug for the day.
To just jump in off that, we have to post everything on my YouTube channel so that it exists in a place with video content. But if you're not watching this live to interact with us, which I don't even think I checked to see if anybody was interacting with us tonight. Okay, good.
I had it up.
If you're not watching this to interact with us, go over to wizardsrespite.com, watch it there, give us both the view, and also there is literally no reason to watch the podcast here. Watch it on Wizards Respite, enjoy it there. However, if you would prefer to listen to it on Spotify or some other podcasting app, I also do post it there, so you can find it there in video form. Yeah, as far as my actual plugs, to piggyback off Philbilly, the TMNT Strangeness campaign that we are running right now called The Stump Gang Long Road, that will be back on October 5th. If you want to catch up, there's a playlist on Old Man Gaming, or you could check it out on wizardsrespite.com and give us both the view. But we just added another player to the mix. Jackie Rakes, or Hope Child, was incredibly fun to add to it. So she's a new-time gamer, but she's a lot of fun. Ruby the Sparrow entered the fray. So the last episode was extremely cool, in my opinion. I thought it was one of our best, personally. And it's just a really fun show. Back on October 5th, Thursday the October 5th. Me and Wiz are trying to work out another one of our little plays, and we've got 2 new players to the TTRPG scene at Old Man Gaming, so we're kind of excited for that one-off, which we'll be announcing soon. And then, yeah, you can check out everything this channel has to offer. And then I do want to just really quickly plug her because she's probably our biggest fan right now, and she's on one of the shows. But Jackie Rakes also makes these wonderful, awesome tumblers, cups, mugs. You can find her on Facebook called Created with Love. And she just does these, I can't remember what she calls it, but she does just like, they're stainless steel, and she just does like icons to it.
It's like screen printing, kind of, but
It's like,
they're
yeah, for metal, but she called it something. I can't remember what she calls it. But this right here was one that she made for me for the channel, which I really appreciate, and I told her I would plug her everywhere because of it. But I'm also having her make an anniversary gift for my wife. Don't worry, she doesn't watch any of these, so we're not gonna. It's not gonna be spoiled. Yeah. So please check her out. Created with Love by Jackie Rakes on Facebook. All right, guys, that is it. You guys can also reach us on Facebook at OmegaGamingDH, on Twitter at OmegaGaming9. You can join our Discord links in the description below. Influence us in all of our shows from there. Check out Wizards Respite at wizardsrespite.com, or check them out on Twitter at Wizards Respite. And then, of course, as long as you keep watching and listening, we will keep making it. We'll see you guys next time.
later.